And away we go. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you happen to be in the world today. Welcome one and all to Coffee Talk. It is time once again for Coffee Talk Live, where we will be having a discussion about what is going on in our mad world today. Taking a look, of course, at some snips from the news, various news stories from various news agencies, having a little bit of discussion with those of us who are able to join us for the live portion. And of course, if you are listening somewhere else and you are not able to see the live portion, you can join us anytime at Coffee Talk Live or at Prepper University. And that's, again, Coffee Talk and Prepper University on YouTube, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as at Coffee Talk Chat on X, formerly known as Twitter, and fistfulofradio.com, podcasting out of Atlanta, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Friday at noon. And of course, I do try to, for the benefit of those of you listening and not able to see, read through as many of the comments as I reasonably can to help you keep up with the conversation. And I'll go ahead and say hello to some of the people that have been able to chime in so far and say hi. I see Urban Angst is here today, as well as Carrick and Tuck. Dragon is here. Helter is here. Brian is here. Chillin' Dave. Jane is here. Puck is here. D-Lo, who says thumbs up, please, if you don't mind. Yes, indeed, if you are watching wherever you are, thumbs up. Much appreciated. Sven is here from Occupied Michigan. John is here. A bunch of people popping in here. Let me see. Let me catch up. I do have, before we get to the news, Brian says, curious about the thoughts of when people saying there's a difference between good black people and the N-word, white people and the C-word. Yeah, there's good and bad people of all types without the use of any type of vulgar vernacular. Without the use of any types of vulgar vernacular. But yeah, there's good and bad people of all types: black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. And I know people like to put them in a box, and sometimes that box fits, but you know, that's how it goes. And Jane says their electricity went down at 9 due to e-grid failure, but ready to hear the news now. Space junk crashing to Earth. What do you think about that? That happens all the time. It's not a big deal. Satellite, there's like 6,000 satellites in orbit or something insane now. It's not like back in the 60s or 50s when the only satellite in orbit was Sputnik. But there's thousands of them up there now. So every once in a while, one falls, it dissolves on its way in. It's not a big deal. A chunk of this and a chunk of that are found somewhere. So nothing to worry too much about. And by the way, joined by two felines, I have Miss Kitty, who is sitting in the chair behind me. You can see her back there. And Uncle, who is asleep on the floor. Big old Uncle. Tuck says every time someone tries putting them in a box, it's always so they can saw me in half. Yep, there you are. They put you in a box, they want to saw you in half. As we get ready to talk about the Atlanta judge again really quick, because they've shared the body cam now from the police department. So we'll go ahead and we'll look at that since we already talked about it. We've talked about her a couple of times. Corrupt Atlanta judge who has been called out. Fox News article, Atlanta police released body cam video of judge's arrest after she allegedly pushed an officer. I heard she hit him. So Atlanta police released body cam footage showing the arrest of Douglas County probate judge Christina Peterson after she allegedly struck an officer outside a nightclub on Thursday. She's on administrative leave because she's under investigation, although they have found her guilty on 30 counts. 30 counts, I believe, of misconduct as a judge. The Atlanta police officer working an approved extra job at the Red Martini restaurant and lounge when he heard a commotion at 3:18 a.m. and went to investigate. The officer found security escorting a woman out of the venue and tried to de-escalate the situation when the woman, later identified as 38-year-old Peterson, Judge Peterson, rushed towards the commotion and immediately started screaming at the security guard and the officer. Peterson is seen on the officer's body camera pushing the officer in the chest and yelling to let her effing go. Police said Peterson kept swiping his hands away as he attempted to assist the female being escorted out and allegedly pushed the officer in the chest a second time before being placed in custody. Body cam footage shows Peterson cursing the officer while in custody. She could be heard saying, "Don't effing touch me, shut the F up." She's seen sitting in the back of the police car while in handcuffs. Now, I'll show some of this. I do have the camera footage pulled up. And, you know, behavior becoming a judge, I guess. Let me cut up at a nightclub at 3:18 in the morning and fight with cops. Oh my God. And Sean is here. He says, good afternoon, checking in from Northern Illinois. They have their first tomato growing today. Excellent. And Fluke Man is here. And Jane says, agree with me, the new NBA basketball player Isaac Hartson is black, but thought a white man, he said, very light-skinned black man. I heard over 30 shade of black American skin or more. There's there's so many different shades of skin. And you know what's really interesting too? Speaking biologically, technically everyone is brown. And you can go from one extreme to the other. Like, I'm technically brown also, just a much lighter shade because it's all dependent on the level of melanin in your skin. But, you know, try explaining that to some people. Anyways, I'll go ahead and I'll spin this video really quickly here. Maybe. The body camera. 3:08 a.m. And that's the officer going to the commotion. For those you can see. He's walking. There we go. There's the audio. A lot of fussing and fighting. That's Atlanta at 3:18, ladies and gentlemen. There's the judge. That's her cussing and pushing and swinging away. That's the Judge Peterson. There goes her wig. And now she's on the ground being handcuffed. Behavior becoming a court judge. Here you go. Oh, no. Don't put an ad in here. Because I wanted to talk about the footage that takes place inside the cab of the police vehicle, where she's refusing to identify her. I actually kind of agree with her here in this one section where she's in the police car, and I'll tell you why in a moment when we get there. Her behavior is unacceptable. I don't know why anybody wants to be out there. What the hell is with this ad? I don't know why anybody would want to be out there at like 3 o'clock in the morning doing anything. There she goes. Jane says we all have red blood, right? Exactly.
No, take me. And I don't care. You don't need the identification. You have locked people up, and you have picked up dead bodies when you don't know who bodies it was, but you picked them up.
Man,
Take me where you need to take me.
I'm trying to.
No, take me where you need to take me immediately, expeditiously.
And you're preventing
Take
that.
me. I could give a damn. Take me where you want to
So
take
how do you want me to take you somewhere expeditiously?
Now. Take me where you want to take me. Take me where you need to go, sir.
I can't.
Harass.
I can't.
This is harassment.
You don't want to provide a name.
Run me into
you can't provide a name.
The pod, cell, take me where you need to take me. I will get a fingerprint and they can find out who I am.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Please, stop playing with me and harassing me.
That's not how it works.
It will work like that, I promise.
I need a name and date of birth.
No.
All right, then
You know that when you harass
we're gonna
me,
sit here then.
Freeman. Just don't play with me. Play with your mama.
What's your first and last name?
Play with somebody else, Freeman. You can Google me and find me anywhere in America.
I mean, what's your name?
Find somebody else.
So I can Google you.
Call somebody.
So are you gonna give me your
I
finger
told
or
him
not?
to call and text him who I was.
Are you gonna give me your finger
I
or
told
not?
him to call.
I'm going to stop it there for a moment. I don't know how well you can hear all of that. Play with your mama, play with someone else, F you, and carrying on. And you don't need to know my name. She's behaving like a teenage girl. She really is. The emotional outbursts and just her behavior overall is very childish, very adolescent behavior, very much like an adolescent or a young teenager you would expect to behave, very defiant. Now, where she is correct is he can run in a Jane Doe. She technically doesn't have to tell him. And if she is under arrest, then or if she is being detained, he can do so as a Jane Doe and just bring her to the police station. He's stalling on purpose, and that is game playing. And police do this all the time. He wants to know what to run her in for, anything extra, before he brings her in. Maybe she's got a warrant. Let's find out. Then he can bring her in on multiple charges instead of just the disorderly conduct. You see? So he's fishing. And she does know this. But rather than just sitting there silently, she's going to argue with him, insult him, threaten him, cuss at him, and so on, which, then she'll just get charged with obstruction anyways. I'm going to catch up a couple of comments here. Dragon says Peterson has no business being in a nightclub. She thought it was okay to get in the middle of a situation that was none of her business, and she couldn't resist the temptation. As we get on, and Chillin says, "But I'm entitled." Exactly. Well, she thinks she is. Helter says, "Getting in bar fights, drunk, pushing and punching law enforcement, refusing to identify herself sounds like the only party needing a cover up is her." And Jane says, "Oh my God, just follow the policeman's request, dumb lady." Indeed. And Chillin says, "Imagine being married to that." Puck reminds us there's really good body cam YouTube channels. It's because people are stupid. People are stupid. And Chillin wants to know if she's educated. She's got a diploma somewhere because she's a court judge. She's a court judge. As I run through a few more comments, Urban Angst says, "Why which selection mechanisms in academia, legal credentialing, judgeship application processing, how did she even get into her professional position? A culture of curated failure." Diversity hire. Diversity hire. We want to show female leadership. And in the Western world, they will throw a female into a leadership position, or a trans person or a gay person into a leadership position being unqualified to show that they were diverse. Look how diverse we are. We hired this person, and overlooked qualified candidates. And I'm sure they could have found a qualified black candidate. I'm sure they could have found a qualified female candidate that would do the job and not get into trouble. She's already been in trouble. She's already suspended from the bench currently. Again, I believe it's 30 counts of misconduct or conduct not becoming of a judge, for intimidation, for adjustment of funds, for other things that she's done in court that are unacceptable. And Jane says they were in Norfolk, Virginia, one late night and saw a guy following them in the car. Next stop, light, saw a cop and asked for help. He helped me and stopped the car following me. They had undercover car had 2 cops. And they were being followed because their Jeep looked like a thief's car. Okay. And Puck says she's the acolyte. Yeah, that woman is insane. If you know I'm sure a lot of people have heard by now. The actress who's playing in the Star Wars Acolyte has done like this rap video. I've seen it. I cannot understand anything she's saying in her video. I cannot understand what the girl is saying. But I can tell you that she is mixed, that her father is, I believe, from Denmark, wealthy white guy from Denmark, a Denmark Inuit. So she is mixed. Her mother is from Africa. So she's not Black American at all. I don't know what her problem is. I don't know what her problem is. And Dragon says Peterson has something of a notorious reputation in Georgia. Yes, it won't last too much longer though. Not going like this. I mean, like I said, she's already currently suspended from the bench.
Okay.
But what? I wasn't
She is
when you needed to. Shut the up. You look like a was trying to eat something before and I never let you. Relax. Shut the up and stop touching me.
Don't.
Yeah, stop touching me.
He's trying to remove the cuffs.
Stop I got it. I can walk on my own. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I got it. I can walk on my own. Don't
Here
touch
comes
me.
the female officer, and she looks like a beast. Did you see that? Let me hold on a second. Let me back that up a little bit, if I can.
Ask him who I was.
Are you gonna give me?
I'm trying to. Yeah, every time I touch it, it rolls back like a whole chapter. It doesn't make any sense.
You was trying to eat something before and I never let
Hold
you.
on, because he's screwing with the guy so much, trying to escort her in
Stop
there.
touching me.
They call a
Yeah,
female
stop touching
officer.
me.
Hold on a second.
Stop touching. I got it. I can walk on my own. Don't touch me.
She knows how it works in jail. And by the way, she's handcuffed in front. So he's already showing her a lot of courtesy because that's typically not done.
Don't touch me. I got it. I can walk on my own. Don't touch me.
There she is on the far left, looking like 6'8", 350 pounds, a female here. That's what happens. I hope she had a good time. I hope she had a good time in jail. Seriously. Chillin says, if I said that to a cop, I'd be escorted to the ground in a common manner. I bet. And Puck thinks that she could be fun after a couple of drinks. I think she's had one too many already.
Now, which one are you saying is too tight, ma'am? Because it's moving. This one?
This one?
Okay. Actually, I can't get it from here.
All right, so he switched the cuffs to the front because she was complaining. But still, that's typically not
How
done.
does that feel? I got it.
These clips are out of order.
So
I know I do. I don't supposed to be in handcuffs.
you said you shouldn't be in
No.
handcuffs? Okay.
But when
Do you hear that language? This is a judge. I don't supposed to be in handcuffs. I don't supposed to be in handcuffs. Ebonics, anyone? Ebonics? God. Oh my God. I mean, you could go for 2 hours talking about these clips. This is
so
nuts.
what's my charges now? You said I was charged with a felony? What's the felony? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, misdemeanor.
What's that?
This is the.
Now, what's a misdemeanor? You hear this woman playing innocent after she calmed herself down a little bit? What's a misdemeanor? Tell me that. You know damn right well what a misdemeanor is, sweetheart. Jane says bad English is a pet peeve of mine. Yes, I agree. I agree because you can speak properly if you want to. And Chillin says, where's the bats? Where's the mace? Not much training. Our boys up here in Massachusetts know how to play knock-knock with the bats. That's do they still call the vans paddy wagons down there? I'm curious. I'm going to cut that off. That's just embarrassing. That is really embarrassing, but that's what you get for a diversity hire. That's what you get. And like was pointed out, she's notorious in the Atlanta area for being mean and nasty in court, for being intimidating, for pushing people around, for making threats. And apparently she's done some other shady things that, again, has gotten her, I'm not 100%, but I believe 30 counts against her for behavior not becoming of a judge. And she is currently off the bench, although she's probably still drawing a salary on your dime. You're still paying for her to go out and spend a night on the town and get drunk and be rowdy at 3:18 in the morning. 3:18 in the morning. If I'm up 3:18 in the morning, there better be a fire. If I'm up at 3:18 in the morning, I better be shooting intruders. I mean, seriously. Seriously. Jane says she's lucky. Usually Atlanta cops do not play with people. Lived in California, and the cops there were mostly passive. And Chillin says plastic cruiser seats, an extra click on the cuffs, 150-year-old cells, warm in the summer, cool in the winter. And Tuck says, barely graduated, never spent a single minute in a college classroom. I can speak better than this judge. It doesn't take much. I mean, you can have no education, but you know what clear language sounds like. You don't have to know a lot of big words, big fancy words, but what does clear language sound like? You can have good articulation. You can have good articulation, even if you don't know a lot of big words, or you don't have an accent with a clear vernacular. You can have an accent and still sound legible, so that people know what you're saying. That's important. That's important. Jumping around here, article from the Savvy Dime. I'm sure some of you have heard this by now. American flag has been deemed a hate symbol by the school's DEI trainer. Really? Throughout the U.S., schools, colleges, and universities have been abandoning their DEI initiatives due to a new policy where they are no longer being funded. This is true because it has backfired terribly on colleges, universities, and even public schools. It has been backfiring terribly. However, one such group is the University of North Carolina System Board of Governors, who voted to remove all DEI initiatives from all universities in the state, which has sparked debate as to whether this is a good or bad decision. I think it's a good decision because, again, the DEI initiatives have caused nothing but trouble. The DEI consultants came at a cost, and that is often to the taxpayer. As one example, taxpayers in Canada have been paying $30 million since 2019 for DEI consultants. That's nice. So they created a nice bureaucratic position for themselves, charging the taxpayers, so that other people could be hired under that program who can't do the job. And we just saw an example of this with Judge Peterson. That's your diversity, equity, and inclusion hire right there. When these figures were revealed, many people were shocked. While some were happy that their tax money was going towards these initiatives, others weren't so impressed and have demanded their money be used elsewhere, as they should. However, Dr. Nancy Dome, that's a great, wow, you could have fun with that all day given the fact that she's bald. My name is Nancy Dome. Look at my shine. A prominent DEI trainer has been vocal about her stance on critical race theory in the education system. She believes that employees who resist CRT do not fit within the educational culture, stating in her published work that these employees are a poison to culture and climate. I beg to differ. I think that people who push critical race theory and DEI are a poison to culture and climate. Dr. Dome. Oh, I love that. That's perfect. Dr. Dome has said that employees who don't argue with these initiatives or agree, excuse me, I would be the one to argue, so I'd be fired, I guess. Dr. Dome has said that employees who don't agree with these initiatives should be fired and that they do not belong in that line of work. So much for equity and inclusion. She has also said that there is no point in showing compassion towards someone who refuses to see your point of view, and that it is a waste of time to even engage in conversation with them. So she's a communist. I see. Now I get it. Now I understand. Well, I mean, what do you expect? She sounds like a supervillain. When two people are married and continuously stop being able to see eye to eye, they tend to get divorced and move on from one another. According to Dr. Dome, the same should be applied to a working relationship. If you cannot agree with someone you work with, especially if that person isn't willing to adjust, then they need to be removed, either from the team or the organization. The color line exercise introduced by Dr. Dome in DEI training sessions assigned scores to employees based on their perceived level of oppression. This exercise is designed to make participants aware of social privileges and inequalities visually. So I would essentially be fired immediately because I'm not dark enough. I see. Isaac Newman, a teacher. Is this a real name? My name is Isaac Newman. No relation to Isaac Newton. A teacher who participated in DEI training described the experience as insane. Well, I agree. He expressed his frustration with the compulsory nature of the training and the lack of clarity about the consequences of non-participation. I wouldn't want to take that mess either. Just fire me now. Why are you going to humiliate me on top of it? However, Dr. Dome advocates for equity over equality, arguing that individuals should receive varying levels of support based on their specific needs or color. This approach, he believes, is more effective in addressing disparities within the educational system. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Let me catch up. It gets to the point. I haven't even gotten to the point where she talks about the American flag being a symbol of hate. And Jane says, "What? That's craziness. The American flag not liked." Well, some people don't. Some people don't, and you know what? Screw them. Fluke Man says if she gets named and shamed, a number of people from the black community calls her out and she could lose her job. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I made an honest mistake. I have a family to feed." Indeed. And I see Monkey has joined us. Glad you could make it. Helter says these people have no original ideas of their own and have no value to bring to the workforce. They profit off the race hustling DEI crap, and this is the only way they stay relevant in the workforce. Correct. And Tuck says she's a villain. Dr. Dome is eerily fitting. Yes, I know. That's a supervillain name. She should be with the Legion of Doom headquarters. She needs to work with Dr. No and Dr. Evil. Oh my God. Chillin says more wife material. For who? For who? Dragon says put her in a war zone, inner city classroom of a middle of or in the middle of high school level, and she wouldn't last more than 2 days. Yeah, they'd throw stuff at her, they'd threaten her, they'd make fun of her, especially her name. Urban angst. It says many people who grew up under Russian communism and moved to the West, they know what's happening. But for those born and raised here, it's an impossibility by the time they figure it out. There's Tom E. He says he never feels scary of nothing, not a fear of ghosts, criminals, Guantanamo tortures, and so on. Let me see. As I try to catch up a few more things. Jane wants people to hit the thumbs up. Yes, please do. Whatever you're watching on or whatever you're listening to, thumbs up and 5 stars and whatever they got. Whatever they got, I'll take it if you don't mind. Fluke Man says, does any of DEI professionals, workers, and supporters even care of all the lives they put at risk and who died under their care? No, they don't, because they don't take responsibility for their actions. It's always going to be someone else's fault. Look at this. Acknowledge your privilege. People's main concern about equity and why they prefer to focus on equality is that they are worried that using equity will result in something being taken away from them. This is because equity involves being able to get what one needs, even if it's different from what someone else can get. To them, it can feel that a privilege is being denied to them, whereas one person is able to receive it. However, what it really means is that everyone is getting their needs met in the ways that best suits them, up to and including getting fired, I guess, according to Jane. Unbelievable. But yeah, I think it's a merit system. I think you should earn it. You should earn your way through things. I don't think that you should have privilege based on your sex or appearance or color or anything else like that, or preferences, regardless of what you are, white, black, Asian, or otherwise, Hispanic, male, female. I don't think that matters so much as long as you're doing the damn job properly. But this person wants to have a color scale. They want to have a color scale and a sex scale and a gender scale to provide privileges for or opportunity for people based on those, on account of perceived privileges for individuals based on their skin being lighter, perhaps, or because of their being masculine, perhaps. And here she is, Dr. Nancy Dome. Dr. Nancy Dome needs... I'm waiting for Lex Luthor to introduce her as the latest member of the Legion of Doom. And now I give you Dr. Dome. Take your place. Oh my God. I can't leave it alone. Take your place next to Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy don't like Dr. Dome. Dr. Dome gives Solomon Grundy a hard time because he's pale. Puck says he's white, black, and Asian. What did I win? 11th place. You get an 11th place ribbon. And Jane says balding head on females is not that attractive. I guess not. It's cut really close. It's like stubble. On the picture there. You can see. She looks happy though, doesn't she? She looks happy in that photo. I'll give her that much. She's very pleased with herself. Pleased as punch. She looks like Hey Kool-Aid. Hey Kool-Aid. Doc and Buck wants to know if the judge is on Tinder. I don't know. What is Tinder? What is Tinder anyways? I've never been on Tinder, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Tinder. You want to see another diversity hire? Who wants to see another diversity hire that's under scrutiny? I'll give you something from the Biden administration. You'll love this guy. I don't even know where to start with this next article. As if Dr. Dome wasn't enough. I give you the Biden administration, ladies and gentlemen, and his latest diversity higher. Fox News article, Biden official says past social media posts don't reflect his current views, and he vows to support the administration's agenda. He vows to support the agenda. That's right. A White House official who stoked controversy with social media posts attacking police, supporting anti-Israel movements, and promoting Russiagate is now downplaying these posts, which were made recently, saying they were written when he was younger and do not reflect his current views. Tyler Cherry. Tyler Cherry. Is that a real name? Is that really his name? These names that they're coming up with here today, I'm like, they can't be their real names. Dr. Dome and Tyler Cherry was promoted last week as an associate communications director for the White House after more than 3 years at the Department of Interior, working for Secretary Deborah Deb Haaland. The promotion brought renewed attention to Cherry's incendiary posts. Would you like to see Tyler Cherry? Not Tyler Perry, although they probably know each other. Here's Tyler Cherry. Oh, it won't let me expand the picture. Who can see this? Who can see this picture? Here we go. Tyler Cherry, everyone. Here he is. Tyler Cherry. This. Oh, dear God. I'm at a loss for words. He's got a tattoo of a disco ball. It's not even a good one. It looks like it was done in jail. He's wearing a dog collar. Tyler Cherry, everyone. There's your new White House communications director. Oh, God. Brian explains Tinder is a so-called dating app that fuels millennial and Gen Z women's egos and narcissism. Okay, thanks for the explanation. I have no idea. Well, I mean, why would I be on a dating app anyways? I'm happily married. The warden says Tyler Cherry sounds like a gay porn star. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. I think you may not be that far off. Helter says past social media posts apparently don't matter now, but they use everything Trump has said or done to go after him. And since some of what he said was recent anti-Israel propaganda, and he says that's all in the past when I was younger. That was a few weeks ago. That reminds me of an episode of South Park where the kids stumble over pornography on the internet that involved Cartman's mother. Does this sound familiar to anyone? And he says he went back and he says, I talked to my mom and she says that was done a long time ago when she needed the money. And then one of the other kids says, that was filmed last week. He made some of these posts recently, but it's a long time ago. It was younger. He was younger. Monkey says, "Dear God," and Fluke Man says, "My eyes are killing." I know, and we could go on and on and on. Here at Diversity Hire, ladies and gentlemen, this is Biden's agenda right here. Dragon says, except it's precisely because of his past views that he was even considered for the job in the first place. But then again, this is an administration that operates off of DEI, not merit. I may be wrong. Indeed. Let me get back to the article. I'll take that picture down. In one tweet, this is an older one. In one tweet from 2015, Cherry said he was praying even harder for an end to a capitalistic police state motivated by explicit and implicit racial bias. The tweet came amid riots sparked by the police custody death of Freddie Gray, a black man in Baltimore, blah, blah, blah. He has other pet posts to say direct evolution of slave patrols and lynch mobs, talking about the police, cheersing cheersing in bars to ending the occupation of Palestine. No shame if you F your glares. Support Gaza. Hashtag support Gaza. Hashtag support free Palestine. I don't even know what that means. Is that some kind of like code? Cheersing in bars, no shame, and FUCK your glares. What does that mean? Other posts have been directed at Republicans. Past social media posts from when I was younger. Oh, Cherry says, past social media posts from when I was younger do not reflect my current views, period. I support this administration's agenda and will continue my communications work focused on our climate and environmental policies. So yeah, but you're still saying the agenda that is currently under the current administration. I said currently twice. That's bad syntax. But the agenda being supported by the current administration is not an agenda that anybody wants any part of, and was, as was pointed out in the comments, is exactly how he got the damn job in the first place. It's exactly how he got the job in the first place, obviously. I support the administration's agenda. How about you say, regardless of what I may have posted, I intend to do the job? How about that, Mr. Cherry? Mr. Cherry. Oh my God. I don't know where to go with this. The guy looks like he's wearing a dog collar in the picture. Oh no. What are you going to do, folks? There's your diversity and equity hire of the century right there. There you go. That's enough of that. I don't know how much more anybody can take of those photographs. Is he wearing a skirt? Yes, he is. Actually, he's wearing a skirt and stockings in that photo on the right. The photo on the right where he's got the mesh shirt on. He's wearing stockings and a skirt. Unbelievable. Oh, had a hiccup there. Everybody still with us? Had a little hiccup there. I guess the Biden administration didn't appreciate what I was talking about. So yeah, if we can, I don't know how well this is working. Here we go. There's the chat. There's the chat. I see everybody now. Everybody still with us? Had a little hiccup there. Everybody okay? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that's how ScrewTube does you, ladies and gentlemen. That's how ScrewTube does you. Oh no. But we'll move on. We'll move on. But we're still talking about the Biden administration. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Brian says the stream did a Joe Biden. Hey, I should be allowed to speak my opinion. And so should you, without interference from the system. Without interference from the system. And we're going to jump to a Daily Mail article here. We're going to jump to a Daily Mail article. This is interesting to me, and I'm asking if anyone has any insight in this as we get into it. It says Jill and Joe Biden have been using their Wilmington house as an ATM. As an ATM. I find this fascinating, and I'm wondering if there's some kind of real estate scam. Says Joe Biden and First Lady Jill have been using their home as an ATM, taking out multiple mortgages and refinancing their Delaware properties an astounding 35 times, an investigation is revealed. So their home in Delaware has been refinanced 35 times in 28 years. 35 times in 28 years. That's incredible. The president has lived in two houses in his home state since 1975 when he bought his first property in Wilmington that he later sold in the 1990s. But records obtained by Daily Mail show the couple have had a habit of negotiating a new mortgage or credit deal on both of the homes every 17 months. Over the decades, the Bidens have borrowed a total of $6 million on both properties, and there's still an outstanding $541,000 mortgage on their current 3-bedroom, 4.5-bath Wilmington mansion, nearly 3 decades after they bought it. The constant refinancing raises questions as to why the Bidens, who have reported a net worth of $10 million, need a constant flow of extra cash. And there's a long shot of the house. There's a shot of the house. It's a big property. It's a big property. According to the documents, the president first purchased the current 4-acre lot for $350,000 in March of 1996, but have saddled it with 20 different home credit agreements and mortgages that totaled $4.23 million. The previous 5-bedroom, 2.5-bath home in the same town was purchased for $185,000 and sold controversially for $1.2 million. Records show the property had a total of 15. That property had a total of 15 mortgages and lines of credits attached to it. The Bidens also own a summer home in Rehoboth Beach, or Rehoboth Beach, if I pronounced that correctly, which they scooped up in June for $2,744,001. So the property, however, has no mortgages attached to it and was revealed last year to have been a cash purchase. The property data suggests the 46th president and his wife have needed money fast and used their home's equity as the main source of credit over the years. However, Biden, a career politician, and Jill, a college professor, are estimated to be worth around $10 million, and an additional financial records show the couple pulled in an income of $620,000 in 2023. I don't believe those numbers. Additional money came from interest on investments, pensions, and a pass-through entry that collects book royalties. That's where the money laundering takes place, is book royalties. I think most people are wise to that right now. There's no excuse for it. How can a house that's only worth, like, how much did they say? They purchased it for $350,000, but have borrowed up to $6 million on it with 35 loans in 28 years. How is that possible? And then he claims his net worth is only $10 million. I don't see that as being realistic. And I'm looking that up now, and that's what it says here on Google or Bing or whatever the hell this is. That the net worth, he claims his net worth is $10 million, but there's nothing to confirm it. Book royalties is definitely where where money laundering takes place, because nobody's buying all those damn books. They get an instant book deal and get millions for it, and nobody buys it, and it all ends up at Goodwill. And Tuck says ordinary folks have trouble refinancing even with 80+% of the mortgage paid down. And Puck says Hunter was paying $40,000 to $50,000 a month for rent at a different house, ? I don't know. I don't know how that works and where that money came from and how come he owes on taxes then. Unbelievable. And Puck says #shenanigans. There's got to be some kind of real estate scam or money laundering going on, in my opinion. Fluke Man says, we all know with all the shady deals, they have way more than 10 million, probably between 50 to 100. Puck says crooked banks. That sounds to me like a scam. I don't even imagine even a wealthy person could get refinanced that many times on the same properties. 2 properties that they did this with over the last 28 years. 35 times with over 6 million in loans that they currently owe. Where was it? They currently owe $541,000 on that house. They owe $541,000, but borrowed $6 million because they, quote, needed the cash. They should have called AG Wentworth. AG Wentworth. 877 cash now. Then the guy can sing opera on the bus. Monkey says, is that even possible for an average person to do that? I don't think so. I don't think a bank would allow you to do that. I don't know if a bank would allow the average person to do that. So to me, that seems very shady. How in the hell can you get refinanced that many times? They're refinanced more. That's more than once per year. They said every 17 months on both properties. So 35 times in 28 years. That doesn't make sense. I don't know how they could be allowed to get away with it. But I think that's something that should be looked into very closely. If Trump had done this, there would be he'd be sitting before Congress explaining it with a team of 24 lawyers behind him. Think about it, seriously. Because they're all trying to kill Trump right now. They'd have him up under investigation. Puck remembers 877 cash now. Call AG Wentworth. If you have a settlement and you need cash now, you better take the slow dime. Don't sell that settlement. You'll get cheated. You will get cheated, ladies and gentlemen. I don't recommend doing that. And Monkey suggests that it's likely they have someone on the inside, or he has that much influence over them. That is a possibility. And Tuck says politicians are operating at levels of which mafioso could only dream. At least someone in the mafia will probably keep their promises. At least they would keep their freaking promises. Unbelievable. I'll tell you, what a day. The stuff that comes up, and how well is this going to circulate? That's a Daily Mail article. Most people aren't going to see that. Most people are not going to see that article. I wonder how well that's going to circulate in the media. I think that's something that people need to ask about, because that is not a typical thing. That's not something that happens. I couldn't get refinanced over and over and over and over again, because they'll be like, nah, you already got financed. You already got financed by this one and that one. How can you keep borrowing against that to the point where you borrowed $6 million? That's got to be some kind of pyramid scheme. It's crazy. Fluke Man says, probably trying to mislead the general public. They have large amounts of cash under the floorboards or in the bank to generate sympathy from people that still support him. Yeah, the commercials right now are relentless. Non-stop commercials from the current Biden administration for re-election. And I've got to listen to edited clips of Biden saying about, I understand the struggle of the American people. I understand. My father had to move to get a new job. I know what Americans are going through. What the hell are you talking about? You don't know nothing. He's had a pretty easy-going life. He really has. Plus, he's been unplugged from the common man for at least 5 decades. At least 5 decades. And Monkey says, I wonder which bank Biden associated with and who did he talk to for that deal? That's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. Is it the same bank? Is it multiple banks? Did he get one bank to buy the note from another one and just keep jumping around? How many banks can you go through? How does that work? How much political leverage did he use to pull that off? Well, you know, I am a senator, because all of these loans took place while he was a senator and drawing a senator's salary on top of his stock options and everything else that he earns money from, plus his wife's salary. And of course, there's always Hunter's artwork. There's always Hunter's lovely paintings that he gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for somehow. And they're not that great, by the way. They're not that great. We've seen Hunter Biden's paintings before, and they leave a lot to be desired. They leave a lot to be desired. They're pretty rudimentary. They look like oh, let me see if I can find something here. Yeah, I'll pull this one up. I'll pull up an image. You want to see a Hunter Biden painting while we still have a minute? Here you go. Here's a Hunter Biden painting, posing in front of one of his famous paintings that he got like $250,000 for, or something crazy. It looks like what they used to call cookie cutter art. You know, that's what they call it in kindergarten or daycare or Head Start, where the teacher goes around and half-ass does all the work for the kids so that you can send something home to show they had art. That's one of Hunter's paintings. He looks proud of himself. I would be too if I could sell a painting for a couple $100,000. I wish I could. It would solve a lot of problems, pay a lot of bills that way, get out of trouble with the IRS. And then Monkey says, as we speak, RN, is Biden prepping for the debate and being told which softball questions he's going to answer while Trump gets the impossible questions? Yeah, he's out of the public eye for the time being while he gets coached. They're setting him up. They're setting him up. He's being coached right now, and that's how it is. Brian noticed that there's a kitty in the chair. Yes, that's Miss Kitty sleeping back there. That's Miss Kitty sleeping in the chair back there. I'm not going to handle Miss Kitty because she's very, very, very touchy. And Flukeman says Biden probably takes money from the homeless when they forget to take their wallets, leaving the cat house, not an animal shelter, you see. And there's JD. He says, I don't know anything about art, but it doesn't look that bad. It looks like one of those cheap paintings they put in doctors' offices. But is it worth $180,000, $200,000+ is the question. And that was under investigation, as you recall, because he wanted to, he insisted upon knowing who it was that was buying his paintings, something that does not typically take place in the art world. Usually you don't know who bought your stuff. That's all handled by the art dealer, but the art dealer testified under oath. Hunter was very adamant about it, irate even, wanted to know who was buying it, who's purchasing this, who's purchasing that. And by coincidence, several people who purchased very expensive paintings from him are now working in the executive branch. So it questions whether or not they bought their way into those jobs. And special guest appearance. Special guest appearance, everyone. There's Uncle. Say hi to everybody. King Uncle. Hi. How you doing, my friend? I think he's close to 24 pounds now. And he doesn't eat that much. He does not eat that much, but yeah, he's getting up there. And I know some people like to see Uncle. Haven't seen him in a while. Very happy, friendly guy. Very happy, friendly guy. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? You want to go back down where you were? Here you go. Thanks for joining us. Anyways, with that, I will go ahead and start wrapping things up as we are at the top of the hour. Sorry about the hiccup. I don't know what the heck happened there. Jane says, Uncle, is that his name? Yes, his name is Uncle. That's what we call him, and he does respond to it. Big boy knows his name. So I will go ahead and wrap things up. Again, you are listening to and or watching Coffee Talk, and if you are so inclined, you can join the live portion Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Coffee Talk and Prepper University. That's at Coffee Talk Live and at Prepper University on YouTube. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you're watching. And again, thank you, everybody who was able to join us here today. Hope you got something out of the conversation, and we will